Very good. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Palumbo, and members of the committee, I appreciate the opportunity to appear before you today. It is an honor to be nominated to the position of Chief Judge of the New York State Court of Appeals, and I am grateful to Governor Hochul for the confidence she has placed in me. I would like to thank former Chief Judge Jonathan Lippman and Presiding Justice of the First Department, Rolando Acosta, two wonderful judges, mentors, and friends who are here with me today. I would also like to acknowledge and thank Judge Edwina Richardson Mendelson for being here today. As you may know, if I am confirmed and subject to the advice and consent of the Administrative Board of the Courts, I intend to appoint Judge Richardson Mendelson to the position of Chief Administrative Judge for the Office of Court Administration. No one exemplifies our collective commitment to access to justice, diversity, and fairness better than Justice Richardson Mendelson. I welcome the opportunity today to share with you who I am, what I believe, and what my vision is for the courts. As the first person in my family to go to college, it would mean so much to have a chance to lead a justice system to serve New Yorkers who are too often locked out of opportunity and too often denied access to justice. It would be the honor of a lifetime to elevate that system so that it meets the highest goal of equal justice for all. My grandparents came to New York from Puerto Rico in the 1940s and 50s, like hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans before and after them. My parents worked, my mother's parents worked, at the Entenmann's Bakery on Long Island. They were proud members of the Baker Confectionery Union, Local 3. I remember as a child walking the picket line con mi abuela. Because of the union and my grandparents' own hard work, my grandparents were able to earn a decent wage, save to buy a home, provide health care for their family, and ultimately retire and live out their years with dignity. They would be so proud to be seeing me sit here today, to know that the odyssey to New York was worth it. My parents continued the tradition of hard work. My mother was a bookkeeper. My father, a sheet metal mechanic, a graduate of Aviation High. We lived modestly, but they did everything possible to ensure I could get a strong education and have opportunities they would never have. I am enormously proud of my mother and father. I am so grateful, so grateful. I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Hector LaSalle, who's with me here today. We met at the Brentwood High School gym when we were 16 years old. She's my best friend. She's been my partner. Together, we've raised two amazing children, Tatiana and Alex. We've raised them in a tradition of social justice and respect for others, and we are so proud today to see their commitment to making the world more fair and just. They are our pride and joy. We love them with all our hearts. I believe passionately in public service and have devoted most of my career to that high calling in the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office as an Assistant Attorney General and for over 14 years as a judge. To every one of these positions, I have brought and will continue to bring my lived experience. My experience as a person of color, growing up in a working class community, watching people struggle to get a fair loan from the bank, to pay their medical bills, to get an education, so often facing discrimination in employment and in housing. So many barriers still keep people of color and people who speak languages other than English and others in marginalized communities from fully participating in our society. My job, in whatever occupation I have held, has been to break down those barriers. When I was hired to work as an assistant district attorney, one of the only two Latinos in the Suffolk office at that time, I did not just prosecute cases. I met with youth in the community. I met with community members. And I worked to ensure that decisions on prosecutions, sentencing, and charging were fair and unbiased. I tried every day to fulfill the prosecutor's cardinal obligation to seek justice. As a judge, I have that same obligation. Some have said the job of a judge is to be an umpire, calling balls and strikes. But Justice Sonia Sotomayor, a hero and role model for me and so many Latinos and Latinas, has astutely noted that umpires can decide where the strike zone is. So let me tell you a little about my beliefs and what my vision is for the court. I believe passionately that our justice system should be the great equalizer. Its doors should be wide open, with equal access to justice for people from all walks of life. I believe we must zealously protect the vital constitutional rights of New Yorkers, especially in the face of contracting federal rights by the United States Supreme Court. Let me be very clear. While I cannot prejudge cases and must base decisions based on the facts, law, and record before me in any given case, I personally strongly believe in a woman's right to make her own reproductive decisions. I do not want my daughter to have fewer rights than her mother. and I am grateful that in New York, we continue to protect their right to choose. I believe passionately about protecting the rights of the accused. Our democracy is measured by how we treat the least powerful among us. There is no time when a person is more vulnerable than when their liberty is in jeopardy. We have a history of systemic injustice and a lot of work to do to continue to make our system more fair. I strongly believe in the value of unions and in protecting the right to organize. Without the union that helped my family, I would not be here today. Unions protect the rights of working people and offer a vital path to the middle class. We must protect the right to organize to ensure that our unions can thrive. And this is what I believe. And if that is different from what you have heard or read, I am happy now to set the record straight. It will fall to state courts more than ever to protect fundamental rights, voting rights and civil rights, the right to counsel and the right to privacy. As our state's highest tribunal, the Court of Appeals must set the highest standards and embody our highest ideals. Today, I lead the Appellate Division's Second Department, the busiest state appellate court in the nation. I have participated in over 5,000 cases in my time on the Appellate Division. I am happy to discuss my record, and I know you will have questions. Like every judge, I know that not everyone agrees with every ruling, but I can promise you that in every case, I have sought and will continue to seek to give everyone a fair shake, to listen to arguments carefully, to do my best to apply the law to the facts before us, and to work with my colleagues to reach a fair and just result. When I put on a robe, I assume a solemn duty. Every New Yorker deserves the attention, respect, and dignity of the judicial system. Our goal must be to provide justice, equal justice for all. I strongly believe that our justice system too often tilts against marginalized communities and too often denies opportunities and second chances to individuals. Our society has failed. Justice and fairness must go hand in hand. Our society must do better, and if I have the honor of serving in the role of Chief Judge, I will do what I can to help lead that effort, to ensure the arc of our laws bend toward greater justice, guided by the outstanding examples of former Chief Judges Judith Kaye and Jonathan Lippman. I also want to acknowledge that as the first Latino nominated to serve as Chief Judge of New York's Court of Appeals, I stand on the shoulders of pioneers like Justice Sonia Sotomayor and Congressman Nydia Velázquez. If confirmed, I would feel a special responsibility to emulate them and pave the way of justice and opportunity for many to follow, to make sure that all New Yorkers are proud. Again, I appreciate the trust Governor Hochul has placed in me by nominating me for this position. I am grateful for the chance to speak with you today, and I thank you for your careful consideration.